Hey everybody, welcome to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. I know it's been a minute. The world has been insane for the past couple months, and you can hear by my voice going up there that it's nuts. So I kind of stepped out of the studio just to process and to take care of my mental health. And I hope you all have been taking care of your mental health because we are living in those quote unquote unprecedented times again, and those suck. So anyway, back to the art. This is a commission. I am making 5 bookmarks, and they're all going to be kind of tied together. This is the first one. This is my process, and I want to let you know that the first half of the video is me going about it in a way that didn't eventually work, and that's okay. And so what I'm doing is I am taking pieces of cardstock and cutting them into a particular size, which I think this one was like 8.5 by 2.5. That would fit inside of, a regular book and would be kind of cool. The client gave me, carte blanche to do whatever I wanted and just kind of put my aesthetic on these pieces. So here I am cutting up all these bookmarks and trimming off all the excess paper. I've got a beautiful blue sheet and a craft sheet, this brown one here. And I'm, going to end up with 6 because, well, that's just the way that cookie crumbled, and why not have an extra? So here we go. We've got our 6 backgrounds. And now I'm going to start looking for things to put on these bookmarks. And I have so much ephemera, y'all. It's nuts. I have cutouts, digital printouts, collections, bits, bobs, the whole shazam, tickets, tags. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So basically I'm going through and looking for anything that could be vaguely dark academia, which is the theme. I really love this theme. You can see I've got lots of different things here, and I'm so sorry. I don't remember who I got these digitals from. There are all kinds of goodies in here. I want to say it's an ink and page design, but I'm not sure. If there's something that you see and you're like, oh my goodness, where did you get that? Let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to try to figure that out for you. But let's just say a lot of this is from a few beautiful creators over on Etsy. They make these gorgeous kits. And so I am grabbing things that are complementary to the blue and the craft paper bookmark backs. So here I've got some candles that I really like. I've also got little bits here, a library, a stack of books, creepy forest. And this set of candles I really like. Granted, it kind of ends up giving me a little bit of a headache later, but that's okay. It's in the shape of a tag, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And I decide to kind of fussy cut part of it because I feel like it might go up top and I might cut off the top part. I don't know. We'll see. It took me a few days to really get this bookmark done. I think that is partly due to the fact that I've been out of the studio for a hot minute and it was hard to get back into the groove. Getting into the flow and letting go of all the tension and the worries of the day and whatnot is really hard when you're just so stressed out. But I managed to get there, and I'm just pulling all kinds of things together. Here's another little box of ephemera. These are all blue, hence the blue box. Let's start with a dictionary page. So I find this one and pull out half of it because my bookmark is long and skinny, and so is that piece of page. Now I'm going to fussy cut these candles a little more. I end up fussy cutting the whole dang thing. It's just that it takes me a while to do that. Can you tell that I'm a little scattered? Yeah. So I'm just going along here. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I figure, let's glue down some dictionary page on the background here and see what we can come up with. Using my trusty Oohoo glue stick, and we're just going to stick it down with the torn side. Actually, they're both torn edges. Never mind. The glue hasn't even dried. I put too much glue on. You can see it. It's still on one side where I'm trying to cut it off. Okay, so now we've got a blue bookmark with a dictionary page. Now see, I'm really frustrated with these candles. So yeah, now we're going to take a break. Because you know what? If something's not working and you're getting frustrated, take a break. Okay, we're back. Now, let's see if we can't find anything else. Got a number, some other little pieces, tickets. There's another number 5. There's a weird part of a tag, it looks like, a ticket, like a little bit of advertising there. Still trying to make those candles work. And now we're just going to tear off the top. And we're going to fuzzy cut the other side. Wow. This is me trying to get into the flow. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. So here I am, still frustrated. I'm just trying to find out, will all this stuff fit on there? Will it be too busy? Can I smush this on there? And I feel like some of those images on the right were a little too big, and then the other ones I have were a little too small, and it was hard to see. Now I'm just going to fussy cut this tag to get all the white edging off of it. See if it won't work on this bookmark. Uh, Spoiler alert, it doesn't end up working. I'm going to try and make it work. Oh boy. Stick a ticket on there. There goes my number 5. Yeah. Wow. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, it's it needs something else. So, we're going to try to put our little book stack on there because what's more dark academia than a stack of books, right? Well, candles. Those dang candles. Anywho, yeah, I'm just going to keep rearranging these until I find something I like. And I was like, I need a contrasting color. So I'm going to pull out my orange ephemera and we'll go through this pile here and see if we can't find something that might work. So we're going to add in orange ephemera. There's tickets, there's little snippets, numbers, looks like stamps, advertisements, some Halloween stuff, of course. Ah. Honestly, it's not bad, but it's not dark academia. There's no orange in dark academia. Unless I guess it's a firelight. I don't really know. Let's just say I'm trying hard. This is not working. And in the back of my mind, I know it's not working. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to put things there, try them over here. I am literally rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. I took another break and came back. And after talking to an artist friend about the frustrations that I was having, she said, why don't you, instead of trying to fit everything on a tiny little bookmark, why don't you make a big collage and cut out interesting bookmarks from the collage? And I said, oh my gosh, that is it. That's what's happening. Trying to work so tiny is almost impossible. So I pulled out a bunch of interesting papers and pieces. These are things from other projects, other digital printables, etc., etc. And I'm just going to glue them onto this cardstock and make a beautiful masterboard. I'm sure you all have heard about these. They were quite the rage in the crafting community maybe 6 months ago, a year ago. Everybody was making them. I completely forgot about this technique and I forgot about, just start big, cut down. Like when you're writing an essay, write way more than you need, and then you can edit out the stuff that doesn't work. Well, this is the same principle. Glue down beautiful papers, interesting papers to a big piece of paper, and then cut out what you want. And you'll get a really unique bookmark. Or in our case, bookmarks. So yeah, I was like, let's try this. So here I am. I've got all these pieces of paper with a little bit of everything. Writing, lots of script, grunginess, some digital printables, ledger paper, dictionary paper, all kinds of goodies. And I'm just sticking them down wherever it looks good. Remember, this is a fun collage. Art, usually when I make art, it is fun and I have a good time. And I wasn't having a good time prior to changing my direction here. And now it it's working. The flow is flowing. It's fantastic. So, you know, sometimes you got to stop what you're doing and say, all right, wait a second. This isn't working. And I'm forcing this to work. And anytime you're trying to force something, eh, it's telling you that it's not the right direction. And you have to let go of your preconceived notions of what you think this piece is going to be and let the art come out of you. And I know that might sound a little hokey or weird, but it's true. It's true. Find your flow. And when you find your flow, you will know because you won't be thinking so hard about where to glue something or how to, format something or what piece of ephemera you want to stick on. I mean, it just works. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm using a big piece of plastic here to smooth everything down. I'm going to cut off anything that's hanging over the edge. And voila, there it is. I'm just so chuffed with how this turned out. Granted, it started to curl a little bit from the glue, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take a few little pieces and just glue those on top of my big pieces. And before I do that, I will zhuzh them up a little bit and add some of the Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo around the edges to darken them up and give them a little definition, just to kind of age them a little bit. Going to use some of the Art Glitter liquid glue to adhere them. I've got this beautiful owl. I really wanted to use this owl, but we didn't end up using this owl. That's okay. We did end up using some of the little tiny pieces that I was trying to work with my previous incarnation of this. So this image is a very spooky hallway staircase image. It's hard to see on the video, but it's pretty great. I'm really excited about it. So we're gonna stick that on there, smooth it down. And hey, there's our stack of books. Here's a teeny tiny image of a butterfly chart. Anything kind of academic or nerdy that looks vintage and old is perfect for dark academia. All right. So I'm looking at my notes again, trying to remember what size I was going to make this bookmark, and lining up my page here with my cutting board. And I love that there are 1-inch measurements here on the cutting board. It just makes life so much easier. And using an X-Acto knife to cut down the side here. All right, and now I'm going to even up the other side so that I get a bookmark with exactly the background that I want. It is so much easier than the other way. Yeah, so much easier. Oh my goodness. All right, so now I have a bookmark. Now I can add some little ephemera highlights, little focal piece. I've got a tiny owl image here that I love, and we're gonna go around the edges of that. A lot of people are like, why do you do that? Well, it gets rid of those stark white edges, and it makes things look a little aged or vintage. It's kind of a faux aging effect, I guess. So I'm also trying to figure out who or what can I put on this as a focal point. And I remembered that I had this sheet of these are AI generated, which, not the hugest fan, but these were just so weird and wonderful. These are AI steampunk ladies, and I'm trying to remember who I got them from, and I'm so sorry I don't. They're just over the top. Like AI was like, "Oh, you want ladies with goggles and gears? I will give them an 80-pound hat full of goggles and gears." Anyway, so yeah, so this lady with her goggles, she's great. She fits in. She's got that nice sepia brown color. The owl is there. I've got a few little number strips. Gonna give those shading with the brown ink and just kind of move things around until I'm happy with where they are. And just adding these. I'm much more in my element, you know. I've got a background, so instead of trying to forge a background out of little pieces on a little tiny canvas, I did it on a bigger piece and I cut out what I liked. And now I can go in and add the focal points. Got my owl and my lady, and add in little tiny pieces wherever they look good or not, you know? The background is pretty colorful. I've even got some vintage-esque washi tape. This is from a Tim Holtz collection. And I want to say this set was called Journey Design Tape. So I've got a little bit of that tape on here. And it just adds something a little extra, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm auditioning a few more pieces of ephemera there, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, we'll just go with another piece of washi tape, which is great. Sticks on. Yeah, it's good stuff. Um, this bookmark I think turned out really nicely. I'm gonna round all the corners. Since it's a lot of paper glued together, it took a second to get those rounds. I think my corner cutter is dull. I think that it needs to be sharpened, but I have no idea how to do that. Now I just need to punch a hole. I'm also going to put a grommet in there just to make it look pretty and finished. This is a kind of I don't know what to call it, a dark silver grommet. It looks old. It's great. So we're going to use our crocodile here to punch a hole. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where the center is. And then we're going to chomp the little grommet in there. Yay! And yeah, this is coming together. And now I'm going to go around and ink all of the edges of the bookmark itself so that it also doesn't have any little white spots showing. Okay, and now I'm flipping it over on the back because the bookmarks are also going to each be personalized. And there's 5 of them. The first person getting one is someone named Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Um, this is Kathy with a K. So I'm double checking that, and I'm going to pull out some grungy letter stamps. Those are recollection stamps, I think from Michael's from years ago. I don't think they sell these anymore. And then you've got a clear stamping block. I'm going to make sure everything is nice and clean on the back of that bookmark. And I'm going to pick out some embossing powder. And I'm like, is it gold or is it copper? And we end up going with gold. And it's kind of an antique gold, so it's not too bright, but it's just shiny enough just to add some fabulousness to the back of this tag. And I'm gonna go find all my letters, Kathy, and we'll line those up in just a second. This block is great. It has a grid on it, so I can keep my letters mostly straight. The only bad thing about it is, you'll see in just a second, I didn't put enough pressure on it with my hands. So my tea doesn't come out as nice as I wanted it to, but at the end of the day, it's fine. We're going for a grungy aesthetic, and grungy aesthetic means you've got a little wiggle room for, a little mistake here and there. So we're going to use the embossing ink, stamp that down. Yeah, you can see that tea didn't get a whole lot of ink. Oops. Add our embossing powder, and I'm trying to be real smooth here, but frankly, it just didn't work as well as I wanted. That's okay. Put it all back. All right. And that is a Ranger ink embossing powder. I really like their powders. They're very nice. They they I don't know what the word is. They heat up nicely, I guess. They emboss nicely. And there it is. The heat is making all of those little granules melt together and you get a beautiful shiny finish. Kathy, there she is. Get rid of any extra dust. And yeah, right. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Even though the tea looks a little strange, it works. Now I'm going to go in my big bucket o ribbon here to find something to put through the loop at the top. And I've got some sari ribbon, some tulle, and I'm just trying to see which color is going to work. And I end up going with this very muted green, just to be subtle. The funny thing is this particular bookmark was my first go, and my client was like, I should have told you I'm not a huge steampunk fan. So this bookmark is not actually going to go to Kathy. So I'm not spoiling any surprises here. Kathy's going to get a different bookmark with a dark academia theme without any steampunk ladies on it. So we're going to put this ribbon on, and the bookmark's all done. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I hope you're well, and I will see you next time.